Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Philip Locastro, aka Coast Locastro. That is my co-host, Fats the Assassin, and we would like to welcome you to the Prime Podcast, episode 26, take 3. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Let's get into the show.
Peace to the primates. How is everyone doing on this fine day?
They can't fucking answer you because they're not really there.
You're right. But they just clapped for us, though.
Yay! Somebody ought to fucking clap for us after the morning we've had over here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we tried to do this 3 whole times. I was wearing a suit. I was gonna come on professional.
Mhm.
I stripped down to my undershirt here, and here I am. Damn it! I don't know if it's the weather or if it's I got to pay my Wi-Fi bill or something, or Fat's got to pay his Wi-Fi
What is
bill.
that
I don't
that you
know.
sent? What is that that you sent me? Something about 5 storms.
It was a TikTok. After we couldn't do this, I went on the fucking talk.
Right.
And they said that there's 5 tropical storms coming into America from all fucking angles.
Wow.
So
They're really trying to cancel us. Mother Nature's really trying to cancel us, huh?
she had enough of our shit, man. I've had enough of our shit too, as a whole, as a people. I've had enough of us. I'm willing to pull the plug. Thank you.
Well, to the primates out there, Tropical Storm Isaias really took a bite out of my life last week. How about yours?
I mean, not as bad as yours, but it was pretty inconvenient, mildly inconvenient. You don't realize
Absolutely.
how much electricity does until you lose it.
That's right.
Fucking A. I lost fucking $300 worth of groceries.
Yeah.
I almost fucking had a nervous breakdown. I never realized how annoying the people I live with are. And by people I live with, I mean my wife and children.
Right.
Uh, yeah, man, electricity's fucking important. We were out of it for a
You
little
know,
over, huh.
it's amazing how bad the stuff that we eat is, right? Because you let that stuff sit in the fridge without electricity for a couple of days, and that fridge is gonna smell
Couple of
nice and funky,
days.
my man.
My shit,
Yeah.
yeah, I could a couple of days. I wouldn't even let it sit that long. I left after 24 hours. I
Right.
came I we went to Burn's house and,
Right.
she still had power, and then it was just bugging me. I'm like, "I better go empty that fridge because it was stocked full of foods,
Mhm.
cooked and uncooked, and I
Right.
smelt it when I walked in the front door. I had to
Right.
fucking take a trash can into the kitchen and
And
empty
just
the whole
start
fucking
start emptying, right?
everything.
So here's how it happened. Were you at home when it happened? When the power went out?
Uh, yes, I was at home, yes. I was in
Okay.
the kitchen, and it went
Right.
that's it, and that was that.
So, many people might not know, but very personally that I work in the afternoon, right?
That's right.
I'm a mid-shift worker. Uh, I had just taken my shower and I was preparing myself. I was getting dressed and I heard a pop outside. Now, mind you, before all of this is happening, my wife is coming in. She's telling me, "Oh, the patio set, the chairs all blowing around in the yard." And I'm like, "Well, the yard's fenced in. Chairs are not going to go that far. We'll go
Mhm.
reconcile the chairs afterward. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Obviously, this storm doesn't want to see my patio set upright. It wants to see my chairs all over the place. God bless it. God bless the storm. Anyway, I live in a place where I live in a very tree lined area, right?
That's right, you do.
Uh-huh. So these trees, uh, they were just like falling down all over the place. The whole island was just like trees falling down. All right. Um, I heard the pop and everything went out. So mind you, I'm just leaving for work. I'm leaving for work, right? So scramble around and try to find flashlights and batteries. Luckily, I had a couple of flashlights and had fresh batteries and everything else like that. My wife runs out to a store. I forget where she went, but she went and got like 2 lanterns and she got a cooler and she filled up the cooler with ice. So That was day 1. Day
Hmm.
2, still don't have power. So I had to go to work again. Now today, that day is a cold shower. We're still doing with the lanterns and everything else like that. And it's not bad during the day. And one thing I will say about it, the storm wasn't a very wet storm, and it wasn't a lot of heat that week of the storm, right?
Right.
So it wasn't really hot in the house because that central unit is what is our savior. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you need that.
So anyway, day 3, I'd stay home from work, right? I take off work. Now my wife, because now we have the deep freezer downstairs, in the basement. We have the deep freezer, which is stocked from the rooter to the tutor with nothing but a bunch of meat. Then we had a bunch of stuff in the freezer upstairs, and then stuff that was sort of going bad on day 3, because what my wife was doing was trying not to open up the freezer or the fridge at all for anything, so that the residual cold would stay in the appliances. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yes.
So we went to Lowe's in Farmingdale. We went to Lowe's in Bayshore. We went to Home Depot Comac, and finally at Home Depot Deer Park, we found a generator. And my friend, they had about 42 generators, right? When I walked in the place. And when I walked out of the place, they may have had 2. That's how many people were like blitzing on these things. And people were doing the same thing I was doing. They were going around from store to store trying to find generators. So I got the generator, brought it home, hooked it up, hooked up the fridge and the freezer. And of course, the 16-year-old, she's like thanking the heavens because I was able to put the internet and the cable back on. Because ironically, the power went out, but luckily, Altis's service was unscathed. How about that?
I guess them cable wires didn't get hit by a tree.
Right. So we had the TV, a couple of lamps, and everything else like that. So basically, even with partial power, still with cold showers, still unable to cook. You know what I'm saying? Unless I was cooking outside, like before the sun went down, I would go out and like make a couple of things on the grill. But then here's the thing with that: once it gets cold, your ass out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to eat it when it's cooked.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you got to eat it right away.
That's it.
So
Right on
anyway,
the grill.
right, right. So it took us. That was Tuesday. We didn't get power until the following Monday.
That's fucking too much time. It's just
So yeah, that was our hair raising experience with the tropical storms. You know what
yeah,
I'm
you
saying?
weren't having a good time. I remember I hit you up and I offered you to sleep in my bed, and you
Right,
didn't even
right,
want to
right.
come do that. It was what's the
So
matter?
that's the reason why the Prime podcast we were on hold for a little while because we had no juice.
Yeah, but they don't know that because they get a new episode every week because we're
Right,
like
right.
a week behind or something.
Absolutely. But we
So
weren't able to record until now because of these tropical storms, and it looks like a tropical set of tropical storms were trying to play us today too.
yeah, I don't know. I kicked my son off the iPad. I said I put a plug on the devices. I said no fucking devices. You're eating up all my fucking internets over here,
Right, right,
and you
right.
don't pay the bill, so fuck you. You know, so
Well, did he call you? Did he call you a cracker?
no, yeah. In the earlier podcast, I already told Fats this story the other day. Actually no, it was after that. It was like last weekend or something. Um, my mother-in-law lives not far from here and like literally 3 blocks away, and we go over her house because she has a big swimming pool that we could swim in, and we were all going to go, and I said to my son, "We're gonna go to my mother-in-law's and go swimming. Get your trunks and let's be on our way." And he's like, "Oh, my bathing suits are dirty." To which I'm like, how does a bathing suit get dirty? You're gonna fucking jump in the water with it anyway, and
Yeah,
chlorine and
yeah,
you
but he
know, I
wants
think
he, he wants to put something fresh by his pishkadil. You know what I mean?
eh, I mean, I get it. So that's why I was like, all right, wash your bathing suits. I was gonna bring a bunch of stuff over there, the baby's toys, and go pick up some food, and then I'm gonna come back and get you. All right. So I leave him. It's probably an hour. I leave him playing his game. He's 13 years
Mhm.
old. He's not a fucking baby. He could stay home
Right.
by himself. So
Absolutely.
he but I come back, and from the street outside, I hear yelling, and I know it's him, but I hear he's like, "Fuck you, suck my dick, you motherfucking cracker!" I'm like as I'm coming in the house, and I'm just like, I just walk in the front door to his fucking. His room is downstairs. I'm like,
Mhm.
who the fuck are you talking to?
Right.
Just give me the fucking game. That's it. It's over with for you. He's playing Fortnite
Right.
with a bunch of fucking other little fucking idiots, obviously, and
Mhm.
cursing and screaming.
I've not I don't know, like, I've heard of the, like, phenomenon of this game. What is this game about? Like, I've never seen it, so I'm
Do
totally
you know? Do you know what Call of Duty is?
yes,
It's
I'm
like
familiar
a
with that.
to me, it's sort of like it's like a sort of dumbed down version. People are gonna hate that I say that, but Call of Duty is more sort of like militant, sort of
But
you
is this Fortnite like a military game too?
it's kind of. I mean, to the best of my knowledge, it's a you have like teams and you're playing. It's sort of the same concept as Call of Duty, but it doesn't seem as like army related when you play it. It's like
Right,
kind of more like almost fucking cartoony to me.
right,
I mean, the graphics are cool and shit. I played it on his thing. I picked it up and I was like, I don't really
right.
care for this. I like
Well,
Call of Duty better. I don't play
you're
anything, but
you're old though, you know what I'm saying?
I guess I do. There's believe me, there's people we know that fucking sit for hours on end and play video games. So it's not an old thing.
Okay,
I
I
don't
no comment on that, you know what I
I just
mean?
don't I
No
don't have
comment.
energy to do it. Like I'm fucking you're right. I'm gonna be fucking 39 years old in November.
Right,
I don't
right.
have time to play fucking games and shit.
Yeah, you're an old guy, and you should embrace it. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
fine with it. Yeah, like I'll go outside, I'll sit down and
Mhm.
look at the fucking neighbor's house
Right,
that's fucking right behind me.
right,
You know, I'd rather do that than get stressed out by a game. That's the
right.
thing. Like people I know that are my age, I hear them getting all upset. I'm like, homie, you're in heart attack age, bro. You can't be getting upset about fucking Call of Duty. The fuck are you doing, bro?
Right, right, right. So yeah, so that was like it was crazy because we had like a major. I had also Monday I had a major like construction thing going on at my house as well, where
Yeah,
they
you
would
told
dig
me.
where they were digging up my yard and all kind of stuff like that. So it was like dealing with that and power outage at the same time. But luckily, they wanted to rename the street after my wife.
What?
Uh,
Why?
it was so funny because obviously with the neighbors, it brings the what I've seen in this time when Long Island was out, especially like neighborhoods like mine.
Like
Obviously,
rich
it,
people neighborhoods? Yeah, I got you.
yeah, no. Anyway, uh, neighborhoods like mine, it brought the neighbors closer together because we were all going through the same thing at the same time.
That's right.
So, like every day, like my wife would be holding court in front of my driveway, like she's like campaigning to be the block mayor. You know,
I like that. She's for the people.
Yeah, most definitely. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean?
You
Like
got power yet over there?
yeah,
No.
I don't even think I really have a name over here. I'm just Yolanda's husband.
That's all you are. No,
There
you
you
might be
go.
Yolanda's wife, actually.
It could be. You know
She's
what I'm
taking the
saying?
manly role here.
Could be.
I like
I
that.
wouldn't even doubt it. Uh, so anyway,
What wire are you touching right now? Because it's going. Bzz,
yeah, yeah.
bzz,
I heard it and I removed it. You know what
Ooh,
I'm
all
saying?
right.
There you go. You hear it? No, you don't.
No, you're fine
Anyway,
though.
so as I said, she was holding court every day.
Ooh, I
So
like that.
the day that Monday when they were here, obviously I took off of work while they were doing the thing, doing their 1-2 thing with my house. Uh the there was a big tree around the corner from me. It fell on the guy's, fell and hit the corner of the guy's house and smashed one of his cars. Right.
Ooh,
In the
don't like
interim
that.
of it doing that, it ripped the power line down and like it tore one of the street lights down and messed up a transformer. It was crazy. It was like a calamity. That one tree just like totally like messed up a lot of houses. But
Disrespectful.
the funniest part was when we found out that I thought we were out because of that. That wasn't the tree that had my power out, because apparently, because that's on the cross street, it only works, it only powers the first two houses on my block on either side. So I'm in the middle of the block. So at the end of the day, it wasn't for me. So anyway, my wife is up there pestering the guys, the electrical workers. She's pestering, like, listen, my wife is surgical when it comes to nagging. You see what I'm
Oh,
saying?
they all are.
She's like, no, but no, listen, my wife, it's like she took like graduate courses in this.
She's got a doctorate in nagging. I like that.
Yeah, graduate studies in it. And I mean that in the most loving way, babe. So anyway, uh she went and she was like on these guys, and she's like, please guys, just stop and try to look at this and look at that. So the guy, he said, listen, if you see a pickup truck with lights on it and he's circling the neighborhood, he's looking for things and everything else, stop him and tell him what's going on. So she spotted the guy. She damn near jumped out in the middle of the street and got hit, right? The guy stops and she's like, please just check that pole and blah, blah, blah. So she gets the guy, he goes and gets the other guy from around the corner. They ride over to the pole that is responsible for the rest of the block. They go and they see what's going on. It was a simple fix. They fixed it. The power comes back on. All the neighbors are coming out. They're ready to like hoist my wife up on their shoulders and everything else like that. You know, because PSEG, I have the app, and they were giving us updates every day. So every day it would be like, okay, your power will be on by 5 o'clock. Then around 12 o'clock, it would update and say, no, tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Then it kept saying the next day, the next day, the next day. Right.
Yeah.
So, and it was just getting out of control and everything else. So we got our power back on that Monday. These guys left from like destroying my yard. And you know, it was a hair raising experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that shit was definitely for the birds. I
Yeah.
didn't like that.
I mean, of course, my kids they loved it. I mean, you know, eating out every night, they loved that. That was like the coup de grace to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
Because every day
I
was a
know.
party. You know, every day was a party. You know what I'm saying?
You should. My son was fucking beside himself
Why is
during
that?
this. He does because he doesn't. He doesn't. He was deep into a game of Fortnite when the power went out, and he came flying up the stairs. He's like, "What the fuck?" I hear him downstairs fucking cursing. Then he comes up. He's like, "What happened to the Wi-Fi?" I'm like, "We have no power." It's like, "So reset the Wi-Fi." I'm like, "Yeah, no, we have no power. It doesn't work unless you plug it in the wall." It's like, "I don't understand. Can't you just go to that box on the wall and flick the switch over?" I'm
Right.
like, "Dude, the whole fucking neighborhood has no power. Why are you fucking taking this as a personal attack?" And he's like, dude, so he would just like carry this fucking Nintendo around looking for Wi-Fi until it died.
Oh
And
man.
then
Oh,
because
you were trying to look for hotspots?
he's just trying to waiting to see if it'll come back on. Then he's outside
Oh,
looking
that's
for
right.
lineman trucks.
You can't even get hotspots because you have Verizon. See, if you had Optimum, he could like pick up some hotspots, you know.
Dude, he has a fucking
You know, like
login.
like with Optimum, it's like looking for hotspots is like trying to find Pokemon. You know what I'm saying?
He has a fucking a login for Optimum. One of his friends gave him, and he
Oh,
picks up
okay.
around, but it still wasn't working, dude. I was this whole fucking neighborhood. I told you I went to get pizza the next day,
Right.
and the fucking pizza store is over there making pizzas in the dark because they got a gas oven.
Oh my
like
god.
killing shit because everyone else in the fucking shopping center was closed.
Oh my
The
god.
supermarket,
What they
everything.
have? What were they using for like light?
This was during the daytime, so he's like,
Oh
we'll
yeah,
shut
yeah,
it
yeah.
down around dark, and we'll be back tomorrow until they got
And I
power
bet you they were
pretty quick.
I bet you they were making money because people needed to eat out.
They were fucking killing it, bro. I sat in there waiting for my shit. The phone was ringing. They had routed the calls to the cell phone
Oh my
somehow,
god.
and
You
the
see?
fucking
But that's what I'm saying because and this was crazy because this wasn't and in Sandy, obviously I wasn't living on the island with Sandy. I was still living in the Bronx when Sandy hit. But with Sandy, that was the big thing that LIPA like dropped the ball with Sandy, right?
they fucked it up. Yeah.
And you had people obviously on the island that were out for like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? And living on generators for like 2 weeks. So when they brought in PSEG and they gave them the franchise agreement for the island, these guys were like promising that it's going to be much better and we're not going to have those type of issues. Our storm response is going to be this, that, and the third, and blah blah blah. They just came with all of the primo promises. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, when you're trying to stick dick to a woman and you like, yo, my dick game is whack.
Right.
I got a short dick. My breath
Yeah, but here's
smells.
the here's the here's the other thing though. If the government was like it was ready to rescind your right to be on the island, you should just accept it and let the next person try to handle it because you dropped the ball your very first storm. Now, albeit your first storm happened 12 years later, because what are we? Sandy happened in no 8 years later.
2012.
8 years later, Sandy happened in 2012. You know what I'm saying? And this happened in 2020. So 8 years later, your first storm, your first really bad storm, I feel like they dropped the ball. And the thing about it is, you know, for and my wife, uh, again, she's not letting anything go. PSEG was giving out free water and ice toward the end. They were giving out free water and ice. So if you went to the town hall, whatever town you live in, they had like skids of ice and water that they were giving out to people. But I was like, the ice in the water is not helping for people that have like oxygen equipment and they sleep with CPAPs and all of that stuff and medical things that they need. That ice and water is not helping them. They need power. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have thinking about people like that. Like, what do you do? Like, see, for me, I have a handicap being a big fat fuck, and there's no air conditioner, so
Right. Oh, so you
I
just
was
had sweaty
very
tits.
upset about
Sweaty
that.
tits is definitely a medical condition. You know that, right?
I was fucking miserable. My back hurt, and I'm
Right.
laying there with no AC as
Yeah,
a
but think
big
about
fat
that.
fuck.
But think about this. Think about someone that legitimately has problems breathing and has oxygen machine that they have to plug into the wall.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's a important thing when you got that thing. You can't have
What
it.
I what I what I believe in that situation, to be honest, I think that people's the medical carriers and their insurances should provide a generator in case of power outage. If it is deemed that a person has a medical ailment that they're dependent on oxygen treatment or something that they need electricity and there's a possibility that the electricity could go out, that person should have a generator you
Or at least be
provided to
like a
them.
response team come, yeah, something, bring them.
Yeah, like something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
guess.
I think that
Definitely.
should be, because there's people that were truly in jeopardy when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
that's all I have to say about that.
Moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's right. I'm agreeing with you. So, I mean, we got to talk about your first gay experience you were telling me about before.
What the hell are you talking about, my man?
Oh, I just made that shit up.
Yo, are you crazy?
I looked at the I looked at the camera, and when I did it, it's gonna be people are gonna watch this and they're gonna be like, "This guy is fucking out of his goddamn mind."
You think they haven't said in
I
25 episodes, you think they haven't said that?
Oh, they probably say it every time, but
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
think I am. I think I'm losing my fucking mind a little bit, like, completely.
A little bit.
Well, I know, maybe I'm just bored. I'm just bored, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, moving to one of my favorite topics, politics.
Oh, yeah, one thing, Donald Trump's brother died. Did you see
Yes,
that
he
in the
did.
news?
Yes, he did.
So, I think his name was, Robert?
I know his last name was Trump.
Obviously, I'm almost
Right.
100% sure it's Robert Trump.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so people are some fucked up people, man. There's people on there like I was on TikTok before,
And
and
people were
there's this
saying they
woman.
wished that it was him instead of his brother.
Well, they were floating this theory that
Uh-huh.
because they haven't released a cause of death for the brother,
Right.
and they said that Trump had visited with the brother to see him.
Mhm.
And this one girl maps out this whole timeline of how long it's going to take for Trump to die now, and she's predicting that it's going to be on the 27th because he contracted COVID from his brother. Like, people are just pieces of shit.
Well,
As
what
much as
his
they
brother died of COVID?
no, they didn't say that. They won't release the cause of death, or it hasn't been released, or whatever. And but people are
Right.
speculating that it was over COVID or some shit, not or some shit, or that it was COVID. And
Right.
now people are speculating that Trump was exposed to it, and now Trump's gonna die. But like, these are the same people that call Trump a piece of shit. Like, you are the worst type of piece of shit. If anybody dies, and you
Mhm.
say bad shit, like, just to be funny, like, I don't know. Like, I know you don't like the guy, people don't like him and shit, but like, everybody has brothers and sisters. How'd you feel if your brother died? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, but it's still like I I obviously, I don't really have anything nice to say about 45, but I would never ever kick dirt on the guy when he loses a family member because
but
obviously,
that's the
that's just
thing about it.
that's inhumane. That's period. That's that you're morally bankrupt if you do that. No matter how much
Fucking
you don't like a person, you know what I'm saying? You can still have a sense of humanity that a person lost his life. And the thing about it is just because you hate and hate is a strong word. I don't hate the guy. I dislike him and the way he carries himself, but I don't hate him. Now, just even if you dislike a person, that doesn't mean that you have to dislike everybody that is associated with that person. You don't even know his brother. His brother could have been a complete sweetheart. He could have been a complete a-hole, but how do I know? He wasn't in the public eye like that.
well, I believe it was the Post published the obituary for him, and it said Donald Trump's brother Robert Trump, who sued Nice. Like, they had to they had to shade it. They couldn't just be like,
Mhm.
president's brother Robert Trump died. Like, it had
Oh,
to. They had
he was the one that sued Denise over the book?
yeah, that one. So that's how they described it to the world, like
Right.
that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it here.
Yeah,
I
but
think
I
it's
mean,
silly.
they want to smear everything that has to do with this guy. That's why I
I
was
know.
saying the whole thing with the whole Kamala Harris getting with Joe Biden.
Yeah, I can't wait for these debates. They're gonna be great.
Yeah, well, I'm to be honest, those the debates between him and Donald is just gonna be like who's gonna out buffoon the other. You know what I'm saying?
Trump and Biden.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Unless Trump has a fucking stroke anytime soon, he's he's way fucking sharper than fucking Biden, bro. He's gonna
Yeah,
make
but
Biden look like a fucking idiot.
see, the thing about it is it's sharp in what way though? You know what I'm
Just
saying?
he's got the gift of gab. Whether what he's saying is true or needs to be said, he says
Right,
it with so much fucking confidence.
right.
And
But that's what I'm saying.
Biden,
Even when you say things in confidence, you say things you can say things you can say the wrong thing confidently and sound as if you know what you're talking about, but you're
he
still
does
saying
that
the
all
wrong
the
thing.
time.
That's what I'm
But he
saying.
he forms full sentences, and Biden is like, "When that is my thing," and like, I've been watching shit.
Uh,
I'm like, I'm like, all right,
yeah,
this is really fucking
so
happening.
certain times I look at him talk and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is the best that we could come up with." You know
He
what I'm
like
saying?
I kind of feel bad for him because
Right,
he emotes like he's making a valid point while he's
right,
saying nothing.
right,
And I'm like, "Oh, man, he a couple years ago, he might have really been killing shit, like, if he
right.
said something right now."
Absolutely.
But it's over. It's some yeah, that's the one thing about life, you gotta know when to fucking call it quits. You got
When to hold them and when to fold them.
yeah, you just gotta know when, like, it's time for him to just hang out and eat his ice cream cone in the pool, like,
Yeah,
with the
but
kids touching his leg hair.
you know, eh, the I don't know if there's so many people that just want to hate Donald Trump that people will just cast their vote for this guy just because. They don't care what he's saying. They don't care about any of all of that.
I know,
You know what I'm saying? They don't care.
100%.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
get it. That is such an irresponsible way to go about voting, though.
I understand. I'm just telling you the climate. If you spend any time listening to people talk and listening to how people the rhetoric against Donald Trump and everything else like that, people don't care. Nobody's paying attention to all of that. That's why I was telling you before when we were trying to do this, I was telling you that now Kamala Harris is lending levity to Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and then I told you that levity means humor, and you still chose to use that word again.
Credibility. Is that better?
Credibility is that's the word you're looking for.
Okay.
Yes and no, because people that do understand the politics of what's going on
Right.
saw Kamala fucking debating in that Democratic debate when
Uh-huh.
she was trashing him.
Right.
So it's like, "Oh, your
Yeah, but
integrity is
here's the
this
thing.
strong."
Here's the thing though. Here's the thing. That could easily be fixed and say he chose her for her tenacity.
I understand, but if you felt that way
Uh-huh.
about this man and his contributions to the Democratic Party,
Right.
how do you unfeel that way now and you're willing to
Well,
stand
here's
beside
the
him?
thing. Would you respect her if she came out and say, I didn't unfeel those things? I still feel those things, but I still want to do my part to make this country better.
You gotta respect it like that, but it's
No, I'm just saying,
bullshit.
you personally, how would you feel about that?
Hey, listen, if somebody genuinely felt that way about something, I would say, okay, give him a chance. And see, this is the kind of situation you're in where you don't have any choice but to give whoever's in that office a chance. So I guess we'll see if
Right.
they get in there.
Right.
But if it was like, you have a friend that habitually fucking steps over the line and disrespects you, how many times are you gonna fucking give him a chance
Of
before you're like, get
course.
this person
M-
out of my fucking life?
Most definitely.
So, I
But
mean,
you already came up with the plan anyway. The plan
I,
is for her to be the first black woman president because
yeah, I think
they're banking on this dude like losing his marbles or lose or just keeling over. You
I
know
was
what I
thinking
mean?
about this. Like, think in terms like this. Like, look at Obama, first day of office,
Right.
last day of office. He looks
Right.
like he aged 25 years in
Most
8 years.
definitely. He did.
Look at Trump, first day of office till now. He
Right.
aged significantly too.
Right.
Now Biden is worse than the after picture of both of them, and he's gonna go in there. How?
Yo. You know what?
How?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, when we look at this woman as the vice president, we better make sure we're looking at her as the president because it's gonna happen. I'm almost a thousand
Well, I
percent sure.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like I believe you. I believe your thing. Like I think people looking to her as the future, not Biden. But I also
Yeah,
believe that she couldn't get there. She may get to the big seat, but I don't think she would have gotten to the big seat based off of her being the number one on the ticket. I believe that she has to slide in there through the back door because this country is not ready to elect a woman president. That's what happened with Hillary.
bro. I don't know if that's 100% true.
I
I
think
I
so.
I,
I
I
think so.
think that if there was a woman candidate that that had no kind of stigma to them about things they've said in the past or things they've
Right.
done, like if they were just squeaky clean and
Mhm.
and they appeal to the masses.
Right.
I think in place of Trump, I think
Uh-huh.
there'd be so many people that'd be willing to vote for him.
Uh-huh.
But it's not that. It's not that. Like, she was running for fucking Democratic president. Like, she wanted to run as president.
Yeah.
It's not her. It's not the people didn't make her not fucking be able to be the president. It's the
No,
politics of the Democratic Party.
no, but
What
what I'm
what
saying
made
what I'm saying is it was her, it was Amy Klobuchar, and it was who else? What was the other girl? What was the other lady?
I can't remember the fucking lady's name. I don't
Uh,
know.
well, all
But
3 of them.
all
All
mm,
3 of them, right?
right.
And they all ended up having to drop out because no matter they were ready to crown the young guy. What was his name?
Uh
Buttigieg. Pete
who yeah,
Buttigieg, right?
who the
They're ready
chick.
to yeah. And this guy's married to a dude. And
Yeah, yeah.
they were ready to go with him over a woman. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
It just could have never happened, bro.
They were ready to push the gay agenda forward quicker
This
than they
yeah,
would then listen, then they were ready to push a woman being the head of the country.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right 100%. And it's in New York, we have a sort of different mentality about all this stuff. But in
Right,
middle America,
right,
the gay guy as the president,
right.
never happening. And they have a bigger vote than fucking we're yes,
Yo,
obviously New York has
speak
influence.
delicately about this situation. We don't wanna get
How
kicked
much
off
more
the world.
delicate could I be? I didn't call him an F word or anything. I'm saying if like think about like back roads fucking Alabama.
Right,
Like this the Nebraska, Oklahoma.
right.
Like, yes, right. Hillbillies.
That's why. But again, if they would, this is why they couldn't get behind him. The party knew that if they got behind him, that would shift the entire middle of this country to Trump. Trump would have landslided this thing just off of that. You understand what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
mean, yeah. Yo, there's a guy that's I forget his name. I should have wrote it down, but I watched a video about it. He's predicted the last like fucking 20 presidents or some shit. Like as in, he's like fucking 80 years old or
Right,
70 something years old. He's predicted a good amount of the presidents years before they were elected or reelected,
right.
and he was right every time except for once with an asterisk, and the guy actually won the popular vote. He does it
What
by
are you talking about with
mathematics.
Gore? You talking about with Gore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, but he was able to predict by certain factors of different mathematical equations every year to
Right,
almost to the T exactly what was going to happen vote wise.
right,
And this he said this year, this election is like the first year where he's saying that it's going to be a Democratic win,
right,
but he's also saying he's not positive.
right,
It's so there's so much that like the numbers are lying is what
right.
basically what they said is the gist I got from reading it. It's like it's so weird because there's so many people that will lean away politically
Mhm,
but won't fucking talk about it or do anything about it until it's time to vote,
mhm,
and then they'll vote fucking outside of their party. They'll if they were Democrat and they just had enough of this shit, they'll vote
mhm.
Republican because they don't feel confident in their party or
Right.
whatever. So who knows what's gonna happen?
Well, the whole voting thing, they're making a big deal about the mail-in voting and people not wanting to vote in person and everything else like that. And I'm like, uh, if you go into the supermarket every day or every other day, what the hell is the difference of going into a school to vote? I don't get it.
I mean, this is what we were talking about before, where I didn't mention this yet on here. The other day, I was coming out of Stop and Shop,
Right?
and the fucking the News 12 approached me, and I don't think we're ever going to see this on TV because I had a shirt on that said "Welcome to Hell,
Right.
members only"
Right.
right on the chest.
Okay.
But they asked how I felt about my kids going back to school, my son, and I said I basically said I this is these are unprecedented times, and I don't want to be a part of the experiment. So we'll see how it goes, and then
Right.
he's going to remote learn until then.
Right.
But the point is, we're going to have this timeline that like we're going into the beginning of the school year. Then come November, we should be approaching the head of COVID cases in the school system that you're going to have these fucking voting uh, polling places taking place.
Right.
And then they're going to be like, oh, these are contaminated spaces. We can't do this vote. And then what? They're gonna look to some other bullshit that could be manipulated
Right.
and tell us that that's how we have to do it. Trump knows this shit too, and that's why he's not giving money to the fucking post office like they asked for.
Right.
The whole thing, man, it's overwhelmingly corrupt. If you look at fucking, and it makes me not give a fuck. It's like this
But
shit is
I ask you, is that making America great again?
no, but the corruption is not just one sided, dude.
I didn't say that. I'm saying for that to be a slogan, it's like, is this what is this right here what making America great again is?
I don't think so. I don't. This is we've like I've mentioned this on other podcasts before where people are like, oh, you need to get out there and vote in November.
Right.
This is fucked up. Vote Trump. Like Trump is the fucking current president. Like this is you. If you like, and this is the other thing about that makes me say this too. It's like people, Democrats specifically, do not want Trump in office. He
Right.
fucks up the whole fucking feng shui of
Right.
everything that's happening.
Right.
With financial, with fucking tax, everything. He affects their little fucking game that they like to play, the
Mhm.
Democrats.
Mhm.
And so no matter what happens, we're always gonna get fucking bullshit like from the other side. Like if he's in office, it's going to be the same thing again. It's going to be a fucked up shit. No matter what damage he's doing, he's also going to have to counter all the corruption they're trying to do to him.
Right.
So it's like you can't win.
Well, I still say this. If you can go shopping, you can go vote. Wear your mask, wear your gloves, wear some goggles. You know what I'm saying? Disinfect the place.
Bro, put it outside. Put a giant circus tent in the fucking parking lot of every school. Put the
What I'm
machines
saying
outside.
is it's possible for that to be done without it having to be a big circus about mail-in voting. You see what I'm
It's
saying?
possible. Yes, it's absolutely possible. But,
You
you
know?
know, it's not possible. It's so hard.
Well, anyway, I was discussing before what about going. I went out to a restaurant for the first time in a while, right?
That's right.
We went to the Melting Pot in Farmingdale to celebrate my wedding anniversary. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we abandoned our children, and we
Whoa, you abandoned your
yes,
children? Did
yes.
you leave them on the roadside? Where'd you put them?
No, well, we didn't leave them exactly on the roadside. Well, you could say that because my mother-in-law was actually coming out of the supermarket, so we did drop them off on the side of the road in her care, and we quickly sped off. You know what I'm saying?
They didn't even get in the car yet. You just hit the gas, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
No, it was like I'm gonna slow down to about 2 miles an hour. You guys tuck and roll, and we're out. You know what I'm saying? Uh Basically, we went out to this restaurant and it's crazy now, like to look because we went out last night and we went out this morning. You know what I'm saying? Because we live in La Vida Loca over here. You know what I'm saying? It's just me and the wife. You know what I'm saying? And we doing what we
It
want to
must be nice to have money. Like you're just out there spending it. It's just so nice.
What do you mean?
Look at you.
What do you mean?
What? I'm just
I,
fucking with
yeah.
you.
What do you mean by that?
You have
I have
dinner
nothing.
followed up by breakfast out 2 times in a row.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my goodness gracious!
So
Have a little
yeah.
control of yourself.
So yeah. So what I'm seeing in these places is like what they're doing is like out here they're Xing out portions of the restaurant to maintain social distancing because obviously when you walk in you have to have a mask to walk in, and this is what I don't understand. There's like, oh, you have to have a mask to enter this establishment, but the moment you walk in and sit down you take the mask off.
So fucking silly, bro.
I'm just
It's
no,
the
I'm just saying.
silliest shit ever.
I'm saying you have to have a mask to walk in the establishment, but then when you're seated, you take it off. but the wait staff has to keep their masks on.
You know, the
So,
funniest part about that, we went to Fogo de Chao, me, Manny, Mike, and my stepbrother, and
okay,
like you see them, you know, the little hole in the wall for the kitchen.
right.
You see them all back there just chit chatting with their mask, like low, you know, lowered below their lip. You know,
Lowered and
it's like, why are
one
we?
hanging from one ear and all stuff
What
like
are we
that.
doing here? Come, why
Yeah.
do I gotta wear a mask to take a piss? Leave me alone. I'm here. So it's
So
bullshit.
we they X out like half the tables, and then you go and you do your thing. But you were telling me you don't like that particular restaurant.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't. Did you mention what restaurant you went to? Yeah,
Yes, we
I don't.
went to the Melting Pot.
Yes, no, I hate the melting pot because my ex-wife Holly loved the melting pot,
Ah,
and I hate her. So by
right.
default, I hate the melting pot.
Hate is such a strong word. Let's say
I actually loved the melting pot, but I hate it.
you severely dislike Holly.
Alright,
You know?
I dislike Holly. I dislike the melting pot, but I'm gonna put an asterisk on that too for one reason.
Why is that?
Because, well, I don't like the melting pot for more than just because she liked it. I don't wanna go out and have to cook my own fucking food. A,
Right,
I
right.
hate that so much.
Okay.
Oh, Sean's calling me. Stop calling me, Sean. And B, the asterisk is that the fucking dessert is out of this world. I love it. See, I like to dip. You can dip just about anything in chocolate, and it'll be delicious.
Right.
And it appeals to all of my fat guy sensibilities that you're going to bring me a bucket full of things that could be dipped into chocolate, and then I could just sit there and eat them.
And you know what's sinful about it is they bring you a bunch of sweet things that should not ever be dipped into anything sweet. You know what I'm saying?
But they should at the same time. That's like, you know,
So
why?
anyway,
What else?
the one we have all the time because that's my wife's place. If you want to make my wife happy, it's like that's her place that like even if she sees me driving in that direction for dinner,
Ooh.
she's like, "Oh my goodness." So anyway, Bananas Foster. It's a Bananas Foster chocolate fondue, right?
Oof, they come and light that bitch on fire.
Yes, yes, yes. I have the video.
Oh, nice.
So now what happens is they bring you pound cake, they bring you brownies, they bring you blondies, they bring you
Rice Krispie
Rice
treats.
Krispie treats, they bring you all kinds of fruit.
Fruits.
Now the new thing that wasn't when I went before, they cut up Belgian waffles and of course
Mm.
marshmallows. You know what I'm saying?
Marshmallows, yeah, marshmallows roll. I feel like I've had the waffles too.
Yeah. So they and then you dip in all of that stuff and everything. And it's like, you go into like a diabetic coma, then you wake up and then you pay your bill and then you leave. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, I don't want to cook my own fucking dinner, you piece of shit. Fucking cook the shit. And when I would do it too, I would sit there and I'd prepare all my meats and make myself a nice dish,
Right.
and then I would eat. I wouldn't like
Oh,
she would be fucking.
you didn't eat as you go. You just
No, I would make myself a dinner and then I'd eat my dinner.
oh, okay.
I would take a little bit here and there, but I want to eat my fucking food. By the time I was done eating, I was still fucking hungry because I cooked for an hour.
Well, that place is very deceptive as well. I always tell people that those cuts look small, but they give you it's a lot, man. It's a lot. And
I was up for it every time I went. I'm such a
exactly.
fat fuck guy.
I don't I've never really seen you turn down a restaurant.
I've
Is
been
there
going out and
is there
fucking.
is there a restaurant on your list that you just will not go to because it sucks?
I mean, I'm sure there's places that I've been to that suck, but I find the good in everything. I
Oh,
could find. I've been going out a lot. Me and Manny went to that Crab Shack place by my house across from Dunkin' Donuts the other
right.
day.
Right.
That shit. I don't know if you like seafood, but that shit is banging, son.
Yeah, no,
Oof.
I'm allergic to shellfish, my man. I
So
like
you wouldn't.
fish. I like fish, with
Yeah.
scales, but like shellfish, no, I'm allergic to that.
So you can't go there. Well,
Yeah.
they have fish too, but this is for the fucking lobster and crab legs and
Oh,
shit.
who's living high off the hog now?
Yeah, I was begging with a cup
Yeah.
outside. I was,
Oh, okay.
please give me money. I
Okay.
want to eat
Right.
lobster.
Right.
But that place is good, and that Fogo de Chao. If you've never been there, that's fantastic.
Oh, it's
You would like
fantastic.
it.
What's that?
It's basically you sit down at the table, and
Right?
this is the way it was before Corona. We went a couple times to this place. They just put one up over here, but there was one in the city, and there's one out east. That's Texas de Brazil. It's the same shit. It's
What was
rodizio
is
they
it? What
call it.
is that? Was it like a Brazilian steakhouse?
It's rodizio. You know what that is?
No.
Basically, you sit down at the table. They have like a salad bar kind of that has all kinds of sides and
Oh,
shit.
and then with the dial, you turn it upside down, turn it to green, turn it to red.
Yeah,
That
they give you
yeah,
a little chip. They didn't do that
yeah.
this time. They said because of COVID, but they just kept bringing fucking meat out. They come with different cuts of
Oh
meat.
yeah. Well,
Oh god.
where's the one you went to?
It's across from my wife's salon over there. What is that? The mall. Fucking Roosevelt Field. You know where Red Lobster is on Old Country Road by Roosevelt
Yeah,
Field?
right.
It's in that shopping center.
Okay. Because there's one on
So
Sunrise Highway that I wanted to check out.
it's a place like that. Actually, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think
Yeah,
Manny's told me about that.
right.
Yeah, but this place is the fucking.
Yeah,
This
of
is the.
course. If you're a big fat, you love a place like that. The one that I usually used to go to was on Northern Boulevard and 108th Street. I used to go to that. It used to be called
No,
Greenfield, but now it's something else. You know?
yeah, I want to go there right now.
Yeah, but like I said,
Hungry.
there's a strategy to it though. There's a strategy to it.
Really?
You cannot load up at the salad bar.
No, well, the salad bar. Yeah, you gotta.
You
I would
gotta,
go
you
there.
can't, you because that stuff is all filler. They put it, they strategically put it there,
No,
and
I know. I
and
get it.
you gotta pace yourself because if you will ruin your experience because by the time they keep slicing meat off, right, and you've already filled up on like potatoes and salad and this, that, and the third, you're gonna tap out, and they won.
They see that's the thing. They never seen a fat fuck like me coming. I've been in training for this for a long time, so
How do you think Sean would fare in a place like that?
I think he's a big fat and he'd be all right. But I think what would kill Sean, he like once you start drinking, like he would drink himself full.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the thing. Like
But that's
I
why I
would,
said that's the strategies. Like you can't have them, and they will bring you as many cervezas as you want. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
you
Well, you
can't
got to
just
pay for him, but
well,
you
no,
they
that's what I'm saying. They'll serve you, a bunch of cervezas, and he probably would, like you say, drink himself full. You know what I'm saying?
that's what happened. So I personally, I got a nice drink. I got a little fucking cocktail, and I sat there with my drink because they also pace it out. Like they're cooking meat the whole time, but
That's what
like
I'm
you said,
saying.
they want you to go up to that fucking salad bar and start
Right.
eating
You got to
before they
know how to
start
play
bringing
the
the
game,
meats.
my friend. You got to know how to play the game. That's what I'm
And
saying.
then, dude, they had this fucking. Oh my goodness gracious! First of all, they have the plantains are delicious. For I don't know if they put some extra sugar on them or what they do, but they're fucking
Do
delicious
they have the
glazed.
the grilled pineapple?
They have, I believe, I don't know if it's grilled. They definitely had pineapple at that bar, but they bring out this fucking cheese. And you remember when we used to get tres golpe from the fucking Dominican spot?
Yeah, the
It's
fried
like the
cheese.
fried cheese. It's
Yeah,
a different kind of cheese, but it's a fried cheese. They
right,
bring it to the table and then they put fucking fresh honey on it.
right.
They pour the fucking honey right at the table. Oh my God.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
that same cheese, there is one for grilling and there's one for frying.
Yeah, no, I whatever. They got the grilling one and they make it
Yeah,
delicious.
yeah. Well,
So
you know
that
what? I'm telling you, the only thing is about that is a midway through your meal, all the meat tastes the same. Because it's like
yeah.
apparently they season it and cook it all the same way, even though it's different textures of meat. It's like, oh, this is London broil, this is skirt steak, this is that. Eventually, it all just tastes the same.
It does. You just start getting the fucking meat sweats. They ended this night. They bring out a fucking my favorite thing almost in the world to eat is
What's
lamb
that?
chop. Do you
Oh
like
yeah.
lamb chop? Bro,
Did they have the lollipops, the French lollipops? Those?
they had the double, you know when it's the double one? They basically like that. They didn't cut it open or anything. It was just
Okay,
two, so it was like a double chop, you got the two bones.
right.
But it was like it was a nice size, but it was tender.
Right.
and it was cooked to fucking perfection. And the guy brought it out after
Right.
he brought everything out. But this is also strategic because that shit ain't fucking cheap.
Yeah,
And he brought it
all
last.
the expensive meat, they don't bring that out first. You know what I'm saying?
Right. They start filling you up with fucking all kinds of fucking
Cheap cuts
swag.
and sausages and chicken wings and stuff like
Chicken wrapped in
yeah,
bacon and
yeah, stuff
cheese.
like that. Yeah.
But he bring that out, and I was like, he's like, I cooked it just for you. I'm like, he's like, you have to take it. He told the whole table, and man, he was like, put it down. And I was like, yeah, all right, give it to me. And then Mike, and then my stepbrother Paul,
Right,
and we ate it, and it was delicious. But then after that, a few days later, this lit a fire in me.
right,
Bern was like, you guys haven't been out together in a while. I'm gonna watch the kids. Take Danielle out. So
right.
I take it to this place. It's called Rare 350 or something. It's at the top of the Seafood Oyster Bay Expressway. It's a
Okay.
fancy ass steakhouse with a sushi bar and
Do you like
but
sushi?
some of it. I had a sushi there as an appetizer. They have the live fucking Japanese guy in there making sushi and shit.
Yeah, but
So
which
we
ones do
ordered.
you like?
This one was a lobster roll. I like the tempura rolls. I
Right,
don't like the fucking eel and fucking raw tuna. I don't
right,
like shit
right,
like
right,
that.
right,
I like the shit that I know what I'm looking at. I don't want raw fish. Lobster, crab meat is good.
right,
But so we got that. But then I got the fucking for dinner. I got the lamb chops and a baked potato. Oh,
right.
you want to see a fat guy in fucking heaven? And they give it to you with this little sauce that they make. Oh my goodness, I was fucking. And this is up there where everybody's real rich and pretentious.
Right.
So I'm fucking in there sucking the bones, not using a fork. People are looking at me like, I'm like, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I walked in there. I had a
Well,
fucking.
would you
I had
do you think
shorts on too.
do you think
What?
you think you could cook it? Because like stuff like that, I would try to cook it.
Lamb chop?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. But it has to be fucking. It's got to be fresh, and you got to get it from some like a good butcher. Like you can't just buy the shit that's in the fucking
Nah, the
supermarket.
ones in Costco are fine. The racks in Costco are fine. You crazy?
Yeah,
Yeah, I throw those. Listen, we throw those on the grill. Those things come out good, man. The ones
I
in
love it.
Costco, trust me. You got a Costco membership?
I have BJ's. My father has Costco, and he's
Yeah,
always
well,
asking me if I need shit.
go to Costco because BJ. First of all, I don't even think BJ's has the racks. I think BJ's has like the lower cuts of lamb, but I know for a
Yeah.
fact Costco has the racks of the racks of those lamb chops. Um, and like whenever I want like high quality like steaks and everything else that are not dry aged, just regular steak, but that's not dry aged, I go to Costco. Costco has a really good meats. And I know people are gonna feel like I'm plugging Costco, but if I can't get to Stu Leonard's, my
Yeah,
place.
you gotta go see John, man. You gotta stop fucking around.
Who's
Gotta go
that?
see my
Who's that?
butcher.
Where is he?
He's right on Hempstead Turnpike by my house.
Oh, he's by your house. So maybe when I go and do the swap with you, I can go see him.
Yeah, you gotta go in there. You gotta see John. Yeah, I gotta be honest with you though. Since this fucking quarantine corona shit happened,
Right.
he gets shit, but the selection is way different now.
It's not
Like
as
it's
good as
like
it was.
it's not that it's not good. It's just people were at home and buying up shit to freeze. It was like, yeah, I have to call him now and be like, "What do you got?" And he'll just lace it out. You'll be like, "I got this. I got that. I got this."
Well, what do
It
you
used to
usually get?
be.
What do you usually get? Like, what's really good that he has that you usually get?
I like the skirt steak,
Right.
but he's been getting this Angus. It's cut. It looks like a skirt steak, and they cut it off sort of like near the top of the fucking cow,
Right.
and it's like a tender cut. It's almost like skirt steak, but not.
Is it
But it's
flank? Is it flank
no,
steak?
it's not flank steak. I forget what cut he said it was, but it comes off in a big strip like a skirt steak,
Okay.
but it's tender. So
Right.
I've been getting that regular cuts of like strip steaks and fucking porterhouse and T-bone shit like that all day, and sausage
Mhm.
meats and the shish kebabs meats. He pre-makes them and seasons them, which
Right.
you pay for that too. But for me, like when I'm being lazy, it's easy to just buy a couple packs and throw them on the fucking grill, and
Right.
they come out delicious.
Mhm. Well, That's the thing is, even with the porterhouse and T-bone thing, that used to be my cut. But I'm like all ribeye these days, man.
Yeah, ribeyes are good too, but again, I don't have
I'm
the
like,
money you have. It's
you don't have the money I have, but you go to fancy steakhouses over
uh,
over where was that? The top of the Seafood Oyster Bay, and have
yeah,
lamb chops no less. And you don't
lamb
have the money I
chops.
have.
My wife had this. What is that fish? Is it swordfish? I think it was swordfish. I'm like, why would
Mhm.
you come here and order a fucking swordfish? I was hoping she was gonna get some kind of steak that I could fucking,
Oh, that you could like have the lamb and the steak.
that I could just fucking, I
So
could
why
just
didn't
get
you
into.
try to coerce her into ordering steak?
Because she
Because on the low, your wife is a big fat on the low. You know what I
yeah,
mean? She has the appetite of a big fat. You know what I
she
mean?
does. She
She doesn't
absolutely
have the
does.
frame of a big fat, but she has the appetite of a big fat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. But I don't know. She wanted fish that night. I'm like,
Ah,
and she was already mad at me for some other shit I did. I don't even remember what I did anymore.
right,
That's why Bern was like, "Let me take the kids. You guys need some time
right,
together."
right.
I'm always getting in trouble. I don't even know how. I just don't.
Well, what did you? Was this a verbal trouble or did you do something?
I never do anything, but I do things. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
I don't do anything like you're never gonna catch me out there getting my dick sucked and fucking. You're
No,
never
no,
gonna
I'm
catch
not
me
talking
doing
about
that.
that. I'm talking about regular husband stuff.
Right. But I don't. Maybe I didn't do the fucking dishes right, or I broke a dish,
Right,
or I scratched the table.
right.
This was something I can't remember what it was. It was nothing like that. I did something like I say a lot of shit that I should probably keep in my head.
That's why I said verbal trouble. I get myself in verbal trouble all the time. I'm always on like verbal probation around here because I'm always saying something that is offensive. See, it's funny because, you know, when you say things, right?
Yeah.
Then that gets them upset and then there's now you're on that slippery slope that you could either say something that could fix it or could make it worse. You see what I'm saying?
I see, but this thing to me is like I almost understand why guys are gay. I almost like in the heat of cuz this is the thing, like
Yo,
have I
I
ever
don't understand that. You're on your own
no,
with
no,
that.
hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. There's never been an incident in the fucking 13, 14 years that I know you
Right.
where you've said something to me and then I was like, that's it. I'm going to be a dick to him for the next 3 days.
Right.
When
Absolutely.
this is like you don't know where you fucking stand. Like
Right.
you fucking you know when you get me, you're going to get the same version of me every time. With
Absolutely.
them, it's like you tread lightly or you're fucking fucked. You just say something
Well,
or do something.
this is the thing. This is where I get in. This is where it gets dicey for me. My wife will shut down and jump in her feelings and shut down, right? But then she'll argue with me in her head, right?
Yeah. Full
Not physically, like full blown argue with me with the version of me that she has in her head, right?
uh-huh. Yep.
So
This is
now when she actually speaks to me physically, right? When I don't react to her like me in her head, she's even more pissed off about that.
exactly because they want to fucking argue. They've escalated it to such a point where they're ready to go to blows and take it all the way there. And
Right.
then you're like, whatever. And
But
that pisses them
one of
off
the
so
things I
much.
always say is like, I don't live in your head. It's I'm not in there. That's
Yeah,
not
but you
me
do
talking.
though. You know what the fuck is going on in there. You know what you can. I
Yeah.
could see the wheels turning,
The thing,
and I could.
the one
It
of the
just, but
one of the best questions in the world is, well, why wouldn't you think that? Because I didn't think that. I
right
wouldn't think that.
because I do my own thinking for me. I have my own thoughts. I know it's not allowed,
Right.
but they
Well,
occur.
again, this is how it goes for the hosts of the Prime Podcast. You know what we do is we have to set up dates for ourselves to go out and do living room furniture shopping because both of us run the risk of having to sleep on the other one's couch.
I got a fucking speaking of like this is the thing, this is what happened today. I got pointing at the couch that I have right next to me here. But
I just
uh
splashed myself with water.
I
Like I
like
have a
that a
hole in
lot.
my mouth. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, what happened was I don't know when my daughter sleeps in the bed with us. I have a king size bed in my room.
Right.
Somehow last night I ended up on Danielle's side of the bed,
Right.
which felt amazing. It felt like a brand new fucking bed.
Yo.
The bed doesn't even know there's anyone sleeping on it.
You know why? Because you're a
Yes,
big fat. You're a big fat that has weighed and dented that mattress. Why don't
bro.
you just spin the mattress around?
Because she doesn't want to sleep in a dent. But see, this is what happened.
Right.
So I just bought this mattress in fucking October. So I'm and then
How much you
I'm
pay
like
for it?
I paid fucking like $1,300 with tax.
Well,
Like
hold
it
on,
was
hold on, hold on, hold on. Is it a conventional innerspring mattress or is it all of that
no,
memory
it's a
foam?
lull. It's called a memory foam. I Googled all of this
Isn't that
stuff.
that bed in the box thing you bought?
Yes. It's
Okay.
and I have dude, when I got it and when I get on Danielle's side, it's amazing. It's
Right.
beautiful. But
Okay.
I fatted the fucking thing out like a motherfucker. So
Okay.
the bed on my side, you got me who varies from 230 to pushing 260. Right now, 230.
Right.
And then you got my daughter who's 20 pounds. She sleeps like literally in my armpit. So that's another
Right.
20 pounds. So 280 pounds at max
Right.
or 250 pounds at max at all
Right.
times
Mhm.
is on that side of the bed every night.
Right.
So I wake up at fucking. You called me this morning. I was up already, but I was
Right.
still laying in bed with these two fucking sleeping beauties.
Right.
So, but I go and I see it has a 10-year warranty. So
Mhm.
I call him up. I'm like, my bed is fucked up. I didn't know I was too fat to sleep. Fuck you.
Right.
And the lady was like, she's like, I need you to get a broomstick and take a picture of the how low the bed dips. I'm like, it don't dip until my fat ass is on the fucking thing. She's like, no, trust me, get a broom. And I go and get this fucking broomstick and the tape measure. This thing is dipping. I couldn't even see it. I don't know if I'm fucking blind, but it's dipping down 1.5 inches. She's like, just take a picture of the tag and send it to me. And this fucking lady just sends me a new fucking bed. She's like, all right, you got the tracking information. But she's like, sorry, at this time, we're not going to be able to remove the old one. I'm like, you don't want it back? You just going to take my word for it that this bed, this $1,200 bed, and every time something goes wrong, I could get a new one? She's like, yeah, it's warranted for 10 years, every one you get. I'm like, all right, well,
Wow.
so I'm never buying.
I'm gonna order that immediately.
And then, see, this is the thing, though. So then, like I said, my wife's half of the bed, and I only sleep on like a foot of the bed. So the
Right.
rest of the fuckers, they drive me all the way to the other side at points in the night.
Mhm.
I started Googling videos about cutting mattresses in half.
Oh my
Because
God.
these memory foam beds are just a solid piece of foam. You
Right.
could cut them right in fucking half. So I still have what's half a king size bed? My daughter's new bed.
A twin bed. You got a
So
twin bed.
So I'm cutting that shit in half and then giving it to Sienna. Or you could come sleep on it when you come here. I don't know. Whatever. When
Oh,
you get kicked out.
when my wife's having the argument in her head, I could have the twin bed.
Yeah, you could have that confidence. You could be like, all right, I'm out. I got my bed over in the studio at Phil's house.
That's what I'm
Bye-bye.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
So you better put one over there for me too. Well,
Exactly.
I'll give you the other. I'll give you the broken half.
Yeah, you give me the broken half, and there you have it. You know.
Jesus,
So
we're at an hour and 8 minutes.
Yeah.
This went pretty quick today.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 26 of the Prime Podcast. I'm speaking like my cardiologist right now because this is what he sounds like when he talks.
Right.
You all need to take better care of your health and watch your salt intake and your sugar intake. And have a great week. I would like you to enjoy yourself, possibly engage in some exercise and get outdoors and have a good time, okay? Thank you very much.
Peace.
Peace out. Bye-bye.